I grew up in the small town of Sisters, Oregon. At 14, I was a melodramatic tomboy turned romantic and fancied myself a writer. I spent a lot of time musing about how love works. In fact, I devoted an entire journal to the topic, supported by the lyrics to the oldies music I listened to. Little did I know that my studies would be interrupted by actual love. In 1997, my family went on a cruise to Alaska, and this was before the movie Titanic, so I didn't see the trip as some romantic event. Instead, it reminded me of how utterly lonely and lovesick that I was. That is until I met someone on the very last night of the trip. June 24th, 1997. I know most people keep journals of life in general. I have one of those, but this is a write-up of my discoveries with love. I don't get how love can work. How can two people fall in love with each other? How can I can see one falling for the other and the other sort of pretends to be in love. How could the feelings be mutual? What are the chances? As I was saying, people are looking everywhere for love. They go to singles bars, place ads, spend lots of money on clothing to impress the opposite sex, and buy pets who will love them unconditionally. What happens if I'm the type of person that no one will ever love? I'll rent all the lovely movies and sit at home alone on my couch with my cat crying my eyes out. How can one tell who they really like? Me? I like almost every guy. The only way I'll be able to distinguish liking from friendship is if I have one of them like me back. Is there some equation somewhere? More later, Molly. June 24th, still. Another thought. People go through hell when they're in love. They go through heartbreak, agony, jealousy, mistrust, torment, despair, and it doesn't always end happily. And still they fall in love again. What causes this strong desire for love? Listening to the song Everlasting Love. How can he just sing his heart out and be so sure the girl will love him back? My wish. Let a guy I love me back, or let a guy love me who I would love back. June 28th. Distance makes the heart grow fonder. True? Can music make two people fall in love? Say two people dance to the song Unchained Melody. Could they both simultaneously fall in love? So many questions. June 30th. One must be beautiful to be loved. July 4th. I wrote that last entry when I was having a bad face day. And it seems no one would ever love me. Still seems the same, but my face seems to be a bit better. I love the type of love that endures. When I see an old couple holding hands and gazing and smiling at one another, it makes me happy. By the odd luck that someone would love and marry me, I can only hope the guy will kiss me in a park when I'm 78 and pretty. July 5th. Can one be completely happy without love? I am so alone. August 10th. I found love and love found me, briefly, for 7 hours. There were no questions, no uncertainty. I remember his voice, his touch, his hands, clothes, and eyes, but his face is gone. I can't see it in my mind. I can picture his hair, his shirt, his thumbnail, but his face seems lost. His name is Brett. He was wonderful, opened doors for me, followed me through crowds with his hand on my back, etc. I love his hands, how they fit perfectly in mine, how they stray to my hair and my face. Me. And I'll never see him nor someone like him again. August 12th. Why was it the last night? Why couldn't we have met before the last night? That song, Goodbye for Summer, is stuck in my head. I really don't like that song. I mean, at least they'll see each other in 3 months. 3.5 tops. Me, I'll probably never see or hear from Brett again. Ever. So stop whining about Gwen Weasley's summer. You can start crying when it's a lifetime. I guess I knew all along that he was too good to be true. I'll never see or hear from him, so there's no use getting my hopes up or even thinking about him. In 15 minutes, it will be 1 week since we parted on that fantastic evening. Goodbye, Brett. Thanks for the love. August 15th. Okay, I spoke too soon. Today he wrote me. Actually, he wrote it on Sunday, 3 days after we met. It was a sentimental, mushy letter, and it was a guy who sent it. I don't believe it. I also called him this afternoon. He sounded just the same as he did 1 week ago. Wonderful. I was so happy to hear his voice. He said the same about me. I don't believe it. This must be a dream. I hope I never wake up. Sigh. And this is the letter I wrote to me. Dear Molly, how's it going? There's really not much happening here. I'm just sitting up here in my attic all alone and praying that I wasn't. Praying that you were next to me instead of 3,000 miles away. I can't get your picture out of my head. A beautiful one, but it's seriously screwing up with my train of thought. I miss you and I miss holding you in my arms. Just talking. The best time I had on that trip was when I was with you. I don't know if it was me or the boat or even just the scenery, but we seemed to just click the moment we met. I've had girlfriends before, but I've never felt as close to any of them as I felt to you. I know that the chances of us meeting again are slim to none, but I really would like to keep in touch through letters or even the occasional phone call. I miss you terribly and can't stop thinking about the time we spent together. I would love for you to write back as soon as you can, and to send a picture of yourself with it. Oh yeah, try to make it wallet size so I can keep it with me all the time. Well, I guess I should say goodbye and bid you farewell. Goodbye. Love, Brett. And here's the letter that I wrote back. And the reason I have it is because I printed a second copy for myself so I could read it, the week after when I could kind of read it at the same time that you read it to kind of feel the feelings that you were there. As you do. Anyways, so here's what I wrote. Dear, dear, dear Brett. I got your letter today, and I was so happy that I started to cry. You probably wouldn't guess that I'm the most sentimental and emotional people you'll ever meet. And when I got your letter after deciding to try and stop thinking about you, I cried so hard. I'm sorry I didn't have enough faith in you that you would write back. I'm not used to guys like you. God, I'm going to have to stop crying because I can't read the screen. You're going to have to send me a picture because the main thing about your face that remains in my memory is your eyes. I can't see past them to see the face. All I see are your wonderfully brown eyes and everything else is lost in their splendor. I went back up to the deck in the front of the boat and stood there for what seemed an eternity, trying to decide if it was real or not. I totally made that up. I didn't do that. stars above me, I just shook my head at them because their brightness was dim in comparison to the light that was in your eyes. I saw that night and knew I could never look at the stars again without knowing there was something more beautiful 3,000 miles away. I haven't been able to sleep well since that trip. So many times I've woken up crying and angry at God for giving us so little time. Why did this happen this way? We didn't really need the whole trip to get to know each other. We just needed that one night. It was as if I had known you my whole life. I mean, I'd only been to the arcade about twice, but for some reason I went in there that night. I think Lady Luck was smiling down on me. I need to change the subject to dry my eyes. I saw Phantom of the Opera yesterday. It was so wonderful. If I ever see you again, I'm going to take you to it and show you what you missed. Don't worry about you thinking it was stupid at one time or another. That play was one of the most wonderful things that has ever happened to me. That excludes you, because as far as I'm concerned, you're not even on the same level as the play. You're steps, feet, miles, a millennium above anything that's ever happened to me. You are on the highest mountain, the highest cloud, way past the height of the human imagination can ever be. Well, I'll stop here before I totally scare you off. Until again, welcome all. So, despite the fact that we only met once and that 3,000 miles separated us, we kept writing and calling, even after my parents found out and forbade me to contact him. And even though we both dated other people, we couldn't ignore the possibility that we could really be soulmates. So we kept in touch beyond high school and beyond college. And in 2007, 10 years after we first met, Brett and I finally got a chance to meet each other again face to face. We made plans to spend a weekend together in Washington, D.C. and see if we were still meant to be. I was casually seeing another guy at the time, Zach, who was super cool about the whole thing. He thought the story was amazing. He even drove me to the airport. I wanted to play it cool when I saw Brett again, but he surprised me in the airport with a full-on kiss, our first kiss. And during the whole romantic weekend with Brett, seeing the sights and learning about him, I realized I was totally and completely